Happy Saturday versus Visionaries. Happy Saturday, Vicky. How are you doing?
Welcome back. I'm fine. I'm perfect.
Today is the day when we got up with a lot of energy. I see the energy which you have this morning, my energy.
Yes.
But not all the mornings are like this, right?
Oh, not at all. Not at
Exactly.
all.
So there are mornings where, to tell you the truth, I don't have any energy to get out of bed.
Yeah, me neither. I put the alarm to ring like 1 hour later because I don't want to get up.
And I do that, but I'm also letting the alarm, ring another two or three
Ring.
times, and maybe 1 hour later, hardly I'm getting out of bed.
Oh,
I must confess that this kind of behavior was happening quite a lot in my past.
hmm.
So when I'm thinking about the topic of today, I would like to ask our versus visionaries to imagine waking up every morning feeling like you are just going through those kind of emotions which look like a cycle, right? You are trapped in the same pattern of every day, nothing extraordinary happens. And what your mood is going to be without any spark coming into your life. And the question is, should we wait for that spark, or that spark comes from within us?
Hmm. Good
Because
question.
ultimately, if you see, and when I saw my pattern of like getting lazy morning after morning, being very hard for myself to step out of bed, like literally crawling through my house to with a cup of coffee. I didn't like myself with that kind of low energy. So what
No.
I decided to change that with habits which are bringing me good energy, are bringing me the joy. So the question is how we are getting from this apathic kind of behavior
Or a state.
or state to an inspired behavior, and what stories we have in our toolbox in order to make an example and give some tools to our versus visionaries.
Yeah. You know what's dangerous with apathy? That many times you don't even realize that you are becoming apathetic.
That's true.
And that's a problem. And that's a problem that it involves you or like a cloud involves you and you cannot even see it. And it happened to me.
I think it becomes that kind of embedded behavior which you recognize as being the norm, not being the disruptor. Going through the same circle of activities. I get out of bed, I brush my teeth, I drink my coffee, I have or I don't have breakfast, I go to the car, I jump in the car, I go to the office, or I work remotely, or I go with the kids.
Everything in automatic.
Everything is at such detail of going in the same cadence, same pattern every day,
And automatically.
and automatically that you take this pattern as being the norm, and whatever comes from the outside, you are finding the excuses to eliminate because it's not part of the norm which you created. But what you don't realize that norm, it's not the most healthiest, fulfilling
Yes.
kind of behavior which you should accept into your life.
Yes.
So let's crack this topic with a very good story, Vicky.
Okay, I have one. I was recently moved to another city. Yeah, it happened many times ago and many years ago. I have moved from one city to another one, so I didn't know anyone. you know. And at that time, I rented an apartment just for myself. And I was there working. I was like focusing on myself. I was like having the kind of life that I wanted. And that's why I tell you that apathy sometimes is so dangerous, because you don't realize it. I was having like the life I had dreamed. I was living in front of the sea, having an apartment for myself. I was working at home. So
So comfortable.
so peaceful, comfortable. After work, I used to meditate, and I started like having like 4 to 5 hours meditation. And I was doing this for a couple of months. And I was not even realizing that sometimes for a whole week, I was not going out from home just to buy food and go back. Until one day, there's always one day, right?
Always.
One day, after many months of doing this, my computer broke. So I called a technician. He came to see the computer. And while he was like looking for my computer, trying to fix it, we were like chatting, you know. But he didn't even know me. And before he left, I remember that he looked at me and he said, you know, hey, you look sad. You should, you seem unwell. You should go out a little bit more. And I was like shocked, you know, what do you mean? It's like, I'm having the life I want. What do you mean by sad? And he said, I don't know, I see you a little bit apathetic. Maybe you shouldn't stay so much time at home, and you should go out a little bit more, you know? And then he left. But that phrase like struck me, you know? And I started looking around, and I saw that my whole life was narrowed just to work and meditate. And
just
I was doing
your whole life was
myself.
Exactly.
But to myself in a way, I was like working tirelessly and then meditating tirelessly the whole day, the whole week for months. And I realized that, yeah, I'm apathetic because I didn't want even to go out. Sometimes I went to the supermarket, but every time I went to the supermarket, I was like buying more stuff not to go out so many times, you know? So I realized that this guy was right. And I started looking, okay, what do I do? Because at that time I didn't know many people. I just knew some acquaintances. So I started like drawing a plan, you know, okay, I'm going to get more in touch with these acquaintances to see if we can be friends. And I started looking for some groups at that time on Facebook. And suddenly I found a Facebook group that was like giving and receiving, you know? Okay. You were like offering something and you were able to receive something. And I said, oh.
What was it like? It was like services?
Services, yes. Okay. For example, I offer my Reiki sessions. And in return, I receive other therapies. So I started exchanging my services and meeting other people. And I started like igniting that inspiration, like, hey, more than just staying meditating 4 to 5 hours, I can help people, you know? I can start like giving Reiki, and through this giving, I can also practice spirituality because I was too much focused on spirituality. So after like having this contact with this community and sharing, I realized that stepping out of solitude and into a community, I found inspiration and discovered that, much like in that movie Into the Wild, I don't know if you see it.
Yes, yeah.
I found out that love and life itself is only real when it is shared. And every time I thought about this movie, I have goosebumps, and because I saw this movie right on Brazil when I was alone, and I was crying a river. So it struck me how I fell into this apathy without even noticing. And discovering a community and sharing my services and receiving others gave me this inspiration to start giving and receiving more. And from that, I started having more friends, going to parties, and keeping giving my services for free and exchange, in fact. So for me, this was like a pivotal day when the technician came to my house and told me this, because I was not able to see it alone.
To tell you the truth, I was about to make a joke saying that, are you sure that the guy was not trying to invite you over a coffee?
No, because after that he disappeared. I didn't see him again. So no.
But on a serious note,
but he made me a great favor. So
yeah, on a serious,
I'm really grateful.
On a serious note, I resonate with people, total strangers, coming from outside and not knowing you at all. They're giving you those kind of 2 cents, becoming a wake-up call.
Yes.
And I believe that a lot of gratitude should go to these individuals, because with all their good intentions and genuine kind of observations, actually they are really triggering something in ourselves.
They are very powerful.
They are very powerful. That also I lived in many countries, and listening to your story, I realized that my first 2 or 3 moves, they've been very tough, in a sense that, same like you, I try to build my boundaries, my little box where I was going to the office, I was coming home, I was doing some stuff for myself, and after that, one day led to another, and here is the month, and here are a couple of months with the same kind of practice every day. What I learned from the first 2 or 3 moves, I learned that there are 3 things important when you are doing a courageous move to another country. 3.
Let's see. Take down notes versus visionaries.
1, I think it's your mindset. Moving to a country, even moving from one apartment to the other, or to from one city to the other, that's a big change, and your mindset needs to be ready for it. In a sense that you have to embrace change, you really need to connect with the diversity, connect with the diversity, and also learn and acknowledge the place history. I was never a fan of history when I was a child, but let me tell you that connecting with the culture and with people living in that country is extremely important in shaping your mindset and the way how you're gonna collaborate and connect with them further on. So mindset regarding change. After that, I think you really need to have the motivation to embrace that place.
Yeah, because if you don't have it, you're not going to belong.
Exactly. Having the motivation, it means that you are curious about everything around. You are curious about how people, food, people, music, places to go, nearby restaurants, nearby coffee shops, what's going on in the city, what exhibitions, is there an opera, what's going on, right? That motivation needs to be high up.
Yes.
And I think, so I would say the third one, it's about your support model. I'm calling the toolbox, the methods, right? Always when I'm moving to a new city or a new country, you're gonna have fun here. I'm doing a couple of things. I really want to live downtown because it's important to have like people, crowds, movements around me. I need to have a grocery, a pharmacy, and a bus/train/metro station nearby, right? Nearby. But after that, the fourth is like a chair, my support model. The fourth one, I'm looking and I'm seeing what are those kind of 4, 5, 6 people with whom I can connect in the city in order to connect with other people. Those kind of connection which leads to another connection. And I think this is what happened to you, right? Community and being around people, it's extremely important, especially when you are in a new country, new language, a different culture, everything is different. And this support model through people, it's so fundamental for you to enjoy life. It's inspirational as much as it's taking you out from the apathy.
Yes, exactly. Because you start like experiencing life with passion, right? New things, new culture, new language, new food, new activities. And that is what is going to bring you this energy to get up with another mood.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that when you think about being in a new place, I experienced that, and I always had the fears, but I also have that kind of curiosity.
Emotion.
Curiosity.
That adrenaline, right?
Am I going to find my favorite Italian food? Where should I go there? Am I going to find, the usual breakfast food which I'm like having? We are tempted to bring with us what I have of breakfast. I love what I have at breakfast, like for example my coffee, right? And I think we are tempted to create the same space and the same comfort which we carry on with us in any of the places, but to expand out, because if you are just in your comfort, you're gonna get the apathy.
What happens to me.
But when you expand and you create those connections, you connect with the culture, you can connect with the people, you connect with the places. Those are going to inspire you, and you're gonna step out from that apathy.
Exactly.
So Vicky, are we going to be inspired, or is going to be a week same as the previous one when it comes to...
No, not at all. We are going to be very inspired because Venus is highlighted this week. And Venus is the one that brings us that joy, brings us that experience. For you to understand, Venus is the one that rules Taurus and Libra. Taurus talks about the senses, So Venus wants to experience the life and experience the senses, eat delicious food, sleep in a beautiful, comfortable bed, and blah, blah, blah. While Libra wants to experience beauty and have connection with others. And this week, Venus is going to be on the spot because she's going to connect with Uranus, with Pluto, with Neptune, and is going to enter Libra, where she is like powerful because it's in her home, right? So we can take advantage of this energy and connect with our inner Venus. Start relating to others in this harmonious mood, and also connecting with our senses. What I like doing, what I like eating, what I like, I don't know, a massage. I love a massage. Maybe I can go to a spa. Yeah. But the main point here is connection and transform. Yes. The key phrase would be like embrace the unseen forces of transformation and connection. Because we have Uranus and Pluto that are also going to come to have a chat with Venus and invite them, and they invite her to experience new things and transform those things that maybe keep her on this apathy, you know, and start experiencing life in a different way, innovating the experiences. And of course, connecting. As we already saw, connection with a community which is aligned with our values, with our purpose, with our interests, can bring us a lot of joy, a lot of purpose, a lot of inspiration to have a different life.
I think community, it's the most important element when it comes to growth, as important as, you know, consistency or having a coach or a mentor. Because growth comes from our desire to learn more. But I think in the moment when you are surrounded by mindset alike people, that power is being amplified.
Yes, completely.
And for this episode, the call to action will be connect. Bring into your life a new connection and tell us, how did you feel having one more support in your life, and how you are connecting through that person with others, creating more connections.
And how you can get inspired by that person, that connection. What can you bring to your life about what that person is or is doing?
Excellent. So with this said, connect, tell us how that connection went, and by the next Saturday, like us, dislike us, subscribe, share your stories, and
keep harmonizing your contrasts.
Excellent. Ciao, Vicky.
Ciao, my friend. See you next Saturday.
See you.